here at my friend Sherry's house, which I was just telling her, she's like my friend Sherry, like that's her name on my blog. She has her own blog. You can find her on My Cottage Life on Instagram and then find all of her stuff from there. But anyway, I told her I was making gingerbread and I am still not able to use my shoulder and arm 100%, so she volunteered to help me. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to make a video to give you some tips on making gingerbread. So we both made dough. Did you use the same recipe?
I used the exact same.
Okay, so we used the recipe from Food Network, and I'll include a link to that for the gingerbread. We both doubled our recipe so that we were able to get, this is only one recipe of dough, so it really doesn't make a ton. So it is worth doubling, even tripling, if you're making a lot of houses with a lot of kids or family or whatever. And then we also made the royal icing that goes with that recipe. So you'll find that there. What we're gonna have on this video is just kind of tips for cutting and constructing the houses. So Sherry's rolled out this dough, since I can only get my arm about like that far.
It's not too bad.
No, it's working. Yeah, physical therapy is working. So she's rolled it out to about, maybe a quarter inch or so. You don't get over enthusiastic with the rolling and roll it out like way too thin, because if you're building houses with it, it needs to be able to have, to support the weight of a roof, that sort of thing. And if you're building ornaments that are gonna have a hole in them, you don't want that hole breaking. So it's good to keep them a little bit on the thicker side. And from here, we're going to start cutting out the house shapes using templates. So I have a variety of templates that I just keep in a bag, and these are cardboard and paper templates that I made out of, these are just made out of cereal boxes, and then some of these are just paper. And I even found some designs online that I liked. So this was for a little bird and for a dollar horse. And then I'll use a paring knife and just cut around those. And my favorite tool for cutting the houses is a pastry cutter. I was gonna say a pasta cutter, but this is not. Pastry cutter. And what's nice about it is, first of all, it has a ruler on it. It also has a nice edge that's sharp, but it's not too sharp. Like if you're rolling out on a roll pad, it's not gonna cut the roll pad. And it's a good size to get under even the larger pieces of the house. I can pick up the whole piece of the house with the pastry cutter. So that's what I use. And you get nice straight lines too. All right, so we'll cut this one out. Like a hairnet I just shed. We're not eating these. Okay, so before you bake it, this is the opportunity to put some texture on the gingerbread, and also to add in the windows and the doors. It's much easier to cut now, and then you can kind of clean it up later. So I use a really tiny little square cutter. I found this in a set of cutters, like how you can get square ones, you can also get, or circle ones, you can also get squares. So this was the smallest in a set of square cutters, and so you can use this as a window, which actually, since this house is a little bigger, I think I might use it as like window panes. Okay, and one thing I like to do when I cut out like a door, I like to keep the piece that I just cut out and cut it in half. Well, I didn't cut it in half very well. I cut it in like a third and 2/3. Okay, so try to cut it in half. And then I just stick it on top of either side of the door. And that, it makes like little shutters. Just to show you guys what it looks like. Here's one of the sides with the window cut out. And when you do add something like a shutter, you really can just set the dough on top, and when it bakes, it'll stick. I'm sure the sugar has a lot to do with that. Okay, what I like to do for the roofs, instead of just having a plain roof, I like to add a little bit of texture to it. So I'll use the pastry cutter here and just cut some lines in it. And what this does is when you sprinkle some powdered sugar snow on top, it kind of gives some grooves for the powdered sugar to land in. And it just looks cute. Gives it a little bit more detail. And also then you do less icing. You know, then it's not like you have to add icing everywhere. You can just like put a little powdered sugar on top of the roof and it looks cute. And you guys need to believe me when I say, like, this is not, like, it does not have to be perfect. Icing it will cover a multitude of mistakes. And also the gingerbread itself, especially if you're building small houses, it's just very forgiving. So you can cut it more after it bakes. So if something's a little wonky, it's not standing straight, like, it's okay. This is a good project to get the kids involved with, and it is easy to do. You don't have to go by the kids. Got the royal icing here. It's in this is a piping bag that I don't like using the tips. I find I'm sure professional bakers use them for a reason because it's probably better, but I just like cutting off the tip. I'm not doing anything super fancy or precise, so this works. And we have a little friend here now with us. Sherry's granddaughter came over and she's making some gingerbreads with us. So anyway, this is the glue that's gonna hold the house together. So that's right, it's the glue. So I'm gonna start with the 4 walls. And is that funny? This is the back wall here. So I'm gonna squeeze some icing on. You can see how thick it is. It's one reason why it works really well is the glue.